My video yesterday on Cardinal Goh, which in his interview on EWTN says that during the previous pontificate, many bishops and cardinals were confused. And he went on to defend the, speaking about it, it's not a bad thing to be traditional. It's important to remember Cardinal Goh defended the traditional Latin Mass in Singapore. There's only one church, it's a pretty big church, out of the, I think there's 30 something churches in his diocese, that allowed the traditional Latin Mass to be celebrated. And when I was there working, I went to that Mass. And it's interesting that they, when you walk into the chapel, every pew has a missal for the traditional Latin Mass. They had missals. They'd gone out and bought traditional Latin Mass missals for everybody and left them in the pews. Like everything in Singapore, you don't, stuff just remains where it is. And after Traditionis Custodes, when, the TLM needed to be removed from parishes, he stuck his ground, and that Mass didn't get touched. It remained on schedules. It's just so that you know that this cardinal has a bit of backbone. And it's just interesting because if people will remember when Pope Francis went to Singapore and he says, well, all religions are like languages, it was confusing. It sparked confusion. And now you have a cardinal coming out voicing what he experienced about confusion under the previous pontificate, which many of us spoke about. And I do ask Catholics to stand up for the faith. If you have questions, the honest thing is to ask for clarifications. If you have questions, you should be able to voice them without being shot down. Oh, you're anti-Pope Francis, you're anti-this, you're anti... Because this is what was happening for the last 11 years. Oh, you're rigid, you're traditionalist, you're focused on the wrong things. Get with the new agenda. We need to worship the Pope and everything he says and everything he does. We had a very, very skewed understanding of papal authority for 11 years with some in the church. And, as I said, it's a rare, rare moment that you hear a cardinal being so frank with the public. It's a rare moment. Not often you're going to hear this. We need to end this confusion. The faith isn't something you play around with. The faith is, a beautiful experience in the sense that we are called to union with God, and to obey the Master. And union with God requires a change of life, a renouncement of sin and conversion to living as Christ asked us to live, as Christians. It's interesting. He just said, it's not. He was just talking about tradition, and he was saying, look, it's not a problem to be traditional, which is good. I'm glad we hear a Pope so clear. It's a pity that didn't make him Pope, and we could have done with an Asian Pope. Not that I'm criticizing the choice of the cardinals make, but he seems like a very good man, and he certainly is. And to all those bishops, cardinals, clergy that you have the time, the money, the position, the leadership to teach, preach the faith, give it to the world. Give it to the world. Don't sit back languishing in confusion. Don't be confused about what the apostolic faith is. Give us the faith. Renew the liturgy. Ireland is suffering this sad cycle of endless, nauseous, short, bland liturgies that, engage very, very few people. If you look how rich the liturgy could be, because it's not just a Mass, it's a moment of prayer. It's a moment of being brought through the purgative, illuminative, unitive stage of the spiritual life. It's our whole spiritual life condensed. And yet we pass over it. So many priests can't be bothered to say the black in the Mass, an act of disobedience. And then they expect vocations in the church. Bring us to Christ. Let Christ shine in our liturgy. Teach us to sing again, as Pope Leo seems to be doing. Be Christ in this world. Because if you're not, who will be? We cannot have another century of this nonsense that's been happening. And people will return to the faith if we are Christ's in the world. Anyway, there's an important event coming up, the All Ireland Rosary Rally, in 2 weeks' time. So I do encourage people to be there on that Saturday. I'll do a video with Anto later on it, but just encouraging Irish to come to it. An amazing number of speakers this year. Anyway, God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.